Hi guys, welcome to our channel, Real Black Love with Sims and Bongs. If you're new here, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button somewhere here. And also follow us on Instagram, it's _Real Black Love. If you followed us, we thank you. And if you've subscribed, thank you for being part of the RBL Squad. So in today's video, we are talking about things that people are scared to talk about in relationships. And these are the topics that we believe that we should start normalizing because they are normal conversations. We should start normalizing in relationships and not be scared.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have noted a couple of them that we feel are important to have a conversation about. And that's because they can make or break the relationship, whether sooner or later, if not spoken about. And some of them could be money, sex,
Okay.
background, your history.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll be talking about, and we'll just delve into each of them.
Every relationship has its own core values that glue it together. Central to ours is love, family, and adventure. This is Real Black Love.
So we are going to start with the one that I think a lot of people, it's a shaky conversation, to be honest, with a lot of couples, because the issue with this one is, when do you bring it up? Do you bring it up after a couple of dates, or do you bring it up when you move in together? And that is money. I know that a lot of people, even those who have been in relationships for a long time, don't have money conversations, and they don't have an open door policy when it comes to money. I think, again, it has to do with people's philosophy about money, or the rules they've set for themselves within the relationship, where in some relationships, your money is your money, you manage it the way you want to manage it, and the same applies to my money. In others, we put money together. It has to be an open book type of thing, where you put your pay slip on the table, I put mine on the table, and we see how we can work together. So I think it's one of those conversations that we have to have, especially if we are in a serious relationship. But more than that, I feel like when there's kids in the picture, then it becomes like a must for us to have money conversations. Yeah.
I think it's quite complicated in some cases, because first of all, I think it's the timing. When do we have that conversation?
Yeah.
Right. And it's also a comfortability issue. I think that can also be informed by your level of comfort, can be informed by how serious you personally have taken this relationship and where you see it going. Because if you don't think you are there yet, it's not going to be easy for you to disclose.
And also, in addition to that, if you are not there yet and I'm there and I start bringing it up, you might feel like I'm now being invasive and getting into your space, basically. So you don't receive it well, because you and I are not really on the same level when it comes to this. I think for us, money conversations were never hard to have, and being open about money was never a hard thing to get into. And the main reason why I feel like it has been like that for us is because we met each other when we were both very much broke. So there wasn't like a lot to to protect type of thing. We literally met each other when we were like on 0 account balances. So at the time when we moved in together, things were very hard, that whenever there's money that comes in to you, to your bank account, or someone sends you money, or it's money from the job that you have done, you'd be open with me to say, "Ish, babe, I'm expecting 2 grand, today. What can we go buy?" So because of that, it became very easy for us. And even when I started working, because I started working when we stayed in Protead Lane, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was very easy for me to say to you, "Ish, babe, today I signed a contract and I'm not happy with the money. This is the little that I can put on the table." So yeah, for us, it has never been a thing. And I think because of that foundation, things have been like that for us throughout. That I can never see you doing certain financial moves without understanding how Aibo can do this guy,
I think, yeah, before you can even, to make it easy, I think before you can even produce pay slips and proof of payments or whatever,
Yeah.
I think you need to have a conversation about how you want to manage your money, how you want to manage your bills, who pays for what, or do you go 50-50, or do you, even if it's not 50-50, it's like, okay, we just bring it all into one pool and then we allocate based on,
Yeah.
the needs that are there. Before you could even produce the payslip, because once you understand how this is going to work out, even before you produce, or show how much you earn and so on, I think that will, once you've concluded on the conversation and you agree, then probably to some extent it will bring so much comfort to you.
True.
To produce,
Receipts.
to produce receipts, yes, sorry.
And I fully agree with the fact that there has to be an agreement. At the end of the day, producing those receipts and pay slips shouldn't be an obligation. It has to be something that we are both willing to do, and we are agreeing that this is how we want to go about it. Even if we decide that, okay, we're not producing any pay slips and whatever, you handle certain things and I handle certain things, it has to be an agreement between the two of you. So we are not saying the rules of how to manage money should be uniform across relationships. We're just saying that whichever way you choose to go, it should be something that you have agreed upon. And the only way you can agree upon is by being honest and being open, to have that conversation. Don't block it out as something, no, my money is my money. Don't even ask me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason why, not to dwell too much on this, but just to conclude, the reason why it was easier for us from the beginning is because we had a conversation, if you may recall. I think on our first date, or one of our first dates, we had a conversation about it. How are we going to handle finances as a couple? Sharp.
Even though we still don't 100% agree now, guys, because to be honest,
I don't know. You don't agree.
No, remember 2 years back we were talking about money, and I said to you that, and now to be honest, like right now I'm just understanding the level we are in at life, that how we do things with money, but rightfully I believe that you should be handling everything, and then this notion, your money is our money and my money is my money. That's the life I deserve. Like that's how I believe things should be. So it's important also on that to communicate your expectations when it comes to money. I hear a lot of people judging other people when they say, no, now I want this and this, when it comes to money or my partner's finances. I want a partner who will be able to take care of me, blah, blah, blah. But I commend people who say that, because I feel like it's important for people to voice out their expectations, so that if the next person feels like they cannot handle it, they can be able to make an informed decision that, you know what, you're not for me, So
Sure.
Yeah.
Very important. Yeah, it's tricky. When do you have a conversation about sex? And what about sex is there to talk about?
But I feel like that's one of the most important conversations and to have initially.
Initially.
Yes, initially, in a sense, okay, fine. I get the first stage is you getting to know a person, right? And part of getting to know a person is understanding where this person stands when it comes to sexuality and sexual beliefs. I don't know how to put it. There are people who believe that they are not going to have sex with their partner until a certain stage. There are people who believe in the 90-day rule. There are people who believe that, okay, let's wait until we get married. There are people who just believe that, you know what, away, you know.
Anytime is tea time.
Anytime is tea time. So it's important for us to have this conversation from the start to manage expectations as well, you know. Let us talk about it. What do you expect? What is it that I want for myself? And where do I think we should go from here? So that you don't feel 3 months down the line that you're deprived. That's something that I never promised that I was going to give to you or we were going to get into that. So that's the first aspect that I believe that what do you believe about sex? Is sex to you sacred? Is it a precious thing that is only between us? Are we exclusive like that? Or are you like Noma Yini? So that when you decide when you're gonna suggest certain things, open, you know, different things, like when you invite other people. Some people believe that to spice up their sex life, they need to invite more other people into the picture. I might take offense because I never communicate. We never had that conversation. So I'm catching feelings, things saying when they are normal, you know, for you. So it's important.
Did we have a conversation about sex?
We've had a lot of conversations about sex. I'm not sure about the initial stage. I think initially, no.
Okay.
But I do remember.
And how did it shape everything?
But I do remember talking about sexual health and the importance of testing, HIV testing and all of that. We did have those relationships in the beginning. You know, we did even make
conversations, you mean?
What did I say?
Relationships.
Those conversations.
Yes, no, we did.
We
yeah.
did go to the clinic to do tests and all of that. So yes, there wasn't like a set date time where we sat and spoke about, okay, what do you want sexually and whatever.
And I think it's a bit awkward, right? To just at a date to just say, yeah. So that's the thing. That's why I asked, what about sex do we talk about? Preferences?
Yeah.
Or is it initially, is it just about when do we start to have sex? I think that one is important.
Yes.
Based on expectations, as you've said.
Yeah.
You know, but beyond that, all right, Klawana, based on, is it going to happen now or after Lobola or after 3 months or whatever the case is. Yeah, but I think it's important. Yeah, it's very, very important because if we want different things, then it's going to cause unnecessary friction.
True.
And ultimately, that's just going to spoil the relationship.
True.
Because maybe now I want it, you know, in 90 days. You, on the other hand, may say no until I feel comfortable, whenever that time is, you know, and I can't even say when. So yeah, it's important that we speak about it. But also in the relationship,
True.
you still need to talk about it. Talk about what you prefer, what you are comfortable with, and maybe something that you still want to try, you know, and infuse in your sexual life.
Yes.
You know, and also to know if the other person is satisfied. Not necessarily when you guys are having sex, but overall with the sex life that you guys share.
Yes, that is so important. Like, it's important for you guys to check in on one another to say, babe, and like you saying, don't have this conversation during or immediately after. Have this conversation when you're chilling and watching TV about, are you still happy with how things are? You know, where do you think changes can be made? And also, I feel like being able to ask you, but not only to ask you, being able to voice out my feelings regarding that and be honest about it. Say something about how confident I am in you and your ability to take what I'm saying without either taking offense, taking it personally, or feeling like it's an attack. Being able to have that conversation builds on the relationship's trust, or speaks to the trust that exists within the relationship, because I should be confident and comfortable enough with you to be able to say, ish, babe, you know what, I'm having issues with this, or I'm struggling to reach certain levels, or whatever the case is. So yeah, I think it's highly important to have that. And yeah, check in on each other. For me, all of these conversations, they build trust, or they build on trust. I don't know how to explain it, but they show that I am comfortable enough with you to be able to be vulnerable and say, you know what, babe, this is how I feel. I remember at some point of our relationship, we had a conversation, we had a conversation about our personal career growths. And it was the first time for me that I ever spoke to someone about my career frustrations so comfortably, and feeling like, you know what, you can't judge me, type of thing. And understanding that if I'm able to have those conversations with you, you will be able to understand my mental space. You will be able to understand why I'm breaking down so many times, because I'm unhappy about my career and the way in which it's moving or it's accelerating, you know. So such conversations are important to say that I'm struggling with this, or I'm vulnerable when it comes to this, or I'm suffering this thing. Because conversations help alleviate the weight. Conversations help to make life feel a bit lighter, you know, that you don't have to, I may not be able to assist you when it comes to things still that you are carrying, but the fact that I'm able to lend an ear and just listen to you, and not use whatever that you say, your vulnerabilities that you share with me, not use them against you, you know. I'm gonna say the very same thing still, you know, I'm struggling with this, I'm gonna use those against you and say, hi, when I'm learning, you are even failing, or you are even doing this. So it's important for us to be honest with our failures and share our vulnerabilities, because I find that when people do that, when I share my weaknesses with you, it becomes easier for you to be as open with me, because you feel that not that you have something on me, what all, like this thing applies everywhere. Even if you know, we are going through certain things as a family, someone might feel very confident in you, confident and comfortable to share whatever that they're going through. And Otolo, you're not even the only one who's going through that. So you are able to share problems and solutions as well. So I feel like that is important in relationships, to share such things, share fears. And anyway, I was about to say that I've also been so comfortable with sharing my fears with you, that our relationship and our future as a family, to say, babe, you know, I'm scared that we will, what do you call, like when you live a life like a normal life,
Just remain basic
No, yeah, but
or
there's a word.
average.
Yeah, like
Just live an average life.
mediocre, you know. I'm scared that we'll become a mediocre family where we are not significant, we're just living, and such fears the important so that someone understands why you push so hard, why you push them so hard. Don't just speak about the rosy things. Be open with your person about things that you know they are not really a strong point.
I think it all starts with honesty. Being honest with yourself and choosing to be honest with your partner as well. Because you can't allow yourself to be vulnerable if you're not willing to be honest, or if you're not choosing to be honest. So and I can't really add much to what you've said, because I think you've said enough, you know. But for that to be activated, for you guys to end up having very honest conversations, or where you are disclosing your vulnerabilities and your fears, it will be as a result of you choosing to be honest with your partner.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be honest with your partner because of that reason and so many other reasons.
Yeah. What is it in your history that is worthy of being disclosed? You know?
Nah, guys, when I use a computer, after I'm done, I go to the history and clear it. You never know. You never know.
No ways. Guys, it's important. You never know. Like you say, you never know. Just because you've cleared your history, it doesn't mean that there's no recollection or there's nowhere where it's stored somewhere. There is somewhere where it's
Focus
stored.
on the downloads. The downloads. Go to that folder.
Yo, okay.
You know what are downloads? Huh? Downloads is those things that ended up occurring and you just can't put, under the carpet. Or even if you have put under the carpet, who knows, it might move. And then we start to see how. All along there was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, bringing it back here. There might be things who you did in the past. You've paid your dues. For instance, if there was ever a time where there was suspicion, accusations against you, something. Let's say someone had said that you stole, or someone had said that you sexually harassed someone, like a lady or whatever. Yes, it was an accusation and it did not really go anywhere because maybe there wasn't evidence. But it's something that I believe that you should be disclosing that to me, because some people believe that where there's smoke, there's fire. So if I'm the person who believes where there's smoke, there's fire, and later on I hear this thing and I don't hear it from you, I hear it from someone, and you didn't tell me, and we've had conversations about this particular thing or something close, I might feel like you purposefully left that out. And that might be because you were guilty. So it might start making me feel a certain way about you. So have conversations about that. Have conversations about your history when it comes to women. How I remember when we had this conversation with you, when you told me what kind of player you are, what you were doing during. No,
what kind of player I was, right?
Did I say you are?
Yeah. So I'm playing you right now.
As I was saying, we had that conversation, and hearing that about you showed me how imperfect you are as a person, because you've never really done anything to me it'll make me feel like, hey, this guy, dodgy. But hearing those things made me understand that, okay, let me remove this perfection. You are only human, you know. It made me feel like you were human, man. You were relatable, you were flawed just like any other person, but it also made me appreciate the person that you are now, you know, who is so contrary to the person who you used to be. It made me to appreciate your growth. Oh, you're not...
No, you know why? Kiba, like, it's not that I am not, ne? But I guess it's, I am trying to not be that person.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it made me appreciate your efforts. Because if I thought you were perfect, I'd think whatever that you're doing now, it's a norm, it comes naturally to you. But right now, I am able to view you and see how you are able to stand for who you want to become. And every day wake up trying to become that person. So it makes me appreciate that about you.
Sometimes, though you have changed and you are now someone else, or you are leading your life differently from how you used to, certain things may still follow you around. You may still have skeletons in the closet that if I was to find out about, I'd probably think that you are not who I think you are, or who I've known you to be, you know, up to now. And that could be detrimental to the relationship, because my feeling towards you, or feelings towards you, and maybe my confidence in you as a person who wouldn't do something may have just been diminished by what I've just discovered, you know, or learnt about you. And it's not easy to bring up certain things, you know, especially because there are standards that are set in society. Like, as a woman, imagine if you are known in your hood as being that girl who has been with, you know, from class top of that. It becomes entirely, okay, has she, even if you tell me, or you know what, I was loose, you know, when I was young. And that's the thing with guys, if we were to have a conversation, if I was to have a conversation with you about that, it'll always make me, I think with most guys, you know, it'll always make us feel like we can't pride ourselves enough, you know, you know, or with our partner. And we'll still be uncomfortable to go to certain spaces because we know that we might be confronted, you know, with those remarks that highlight or that speak to who you were before, you know. You might just really go around in your house, like go here, and I feel like, hey, why these guys bansheva so? Why is about her suddenly give it, you know, type of thing. So it's a bit uncomfortable for both of you guys to disclose certain things, and happy the comfortability level could be also influenced by how certain things are viewed, you know, generally. So how do you disclose things without really risking, you know, the change of perception of your partner's change of perception towards you or about you?
I think for me, there are certain things in life they are just hard, period. You know, they are hard to disclose, they are hard to talk about because of maybe society views them a certain way. But there are a lot of hard conversations that need to be had, you know. And with what you're saying, I've always felt like talking about our relationship history is very important. You know, it's not an easy thing. Well, it depends, because there are some people who are like very chilled about it. There are some people who who understand that we all have a past, and my past cannot be the same as your past. There are some people who I can be telling you my life story and saying that I was with this guy and I broke up with him because of this, and then I dated this guy, and this guy I just went out with him on a date, and this guy blah blah blah. Someone who is a bit conservative or has a very narrow outlook of life might view you as a loose girl. Someone who is a bit more liberated, who has a more wider outlook of life, might view you as someone who was trying to find themselves. Because you were 16, obviously you are not going to date one person from primary to high school, even though there are people who have done that. So I'm saying it's important for you to have this conversation so that you can then get to see the kind of partner that you have. If your partner Vele is a bit shaky and is now catching feelings because something it happened 10 years ago, whatever, then maybe you and this person need some sort of, I don't want to say counseling, but you need to undergo a certain journey. It will allow you guys to be able to communicate and build trust. I cannot have conversations with you if I know that, number one, you always catch feelings about anything, whether it happened in the past or what. I cannot have honest conversations with you. So it's important to build trust within the relationship and to also know that this person is ready to have a conversation with me or not. If you don't know me well enough, for instance, it'll be very hard for me to have honest conversations with you because you easily question my character. But if you've known me for so long and you've seen consistency in my behavior patterns, even if I tell you something that is an outlier from the past, something that is, a bit different from everything that you know me to be, it's not as easy for you to doubt me as a person and doubt my character. That's just how I believe. But I do believe that those conversations have to be had.
Yeah, no, I think I think it depends with your own history. It could be tough. I can imagine it being tough for certain people. What if I was accused of something and I didn't disclose at the time? Maybe because at the same time I still feel like Kappa, maybe it has happened that when I disclosed, then I get judged, and it's something that I was accused of. It's not something that I committed. So it's like, okay, it does not matter anymore because it was just an accusation, not really something that I committed.
Yeah.
And therefore I shouldn't even try to attach it to myself as though it's something that belongs with me because I did it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But hey, to prevent. The thing is, guys, with history, it has a way of surfacing, So to prevent it not looking like it's a bad thing, say it before it comes up, before I hear it through someone. Even if it was just an accusation, just say it to prevent it from being messy when it comes up. Because when you say something, when something comes from you, and when something comes from another person, those are two different situations. And how I might perceive it might be different, because I might feel like you are owning up to something or you are being honest about something, and therefore I can hear what you're saying objectively. Yeah.
I understand. So the other day we were talking about death and how it just changes everything in life. And therefore, we need to prepare ourselves.
Yeah.
And to prepare our kids to the inevitable or for the inevitable. Because it might happen to us, it might happen to our parents. It could change a lot, and there are many things to look into. What if you die today and I was the breadwinner. How are you protected?
Yeah.
How are the kids protected? So that's something I think that we need to talk about when we are in a relationship, especially when we are married, when our lives are somewhat tied to each other for eternity, for as long as we are alive.
Yes.
You know, because you and I have kids. So even if we were to go apart, you know, somehow we will still share a connection together until that is everlasting. So how do I prepare myself? Or how do you prepare yourself? How do we together prepare ourselves and our kids for the inevitable?
So weird that death is one of those things that are guaranteed. It's a given. We are all going to die. But it's one of those conversations that we really don't want to get into. Some people believe that when you talk about something a lot, you're attracted, blah, blah, blah. But I don't. I believe that we should be able to talk about death. I don't enjoy it though. I remember when I was younger, like when I was in matric and whatever, my mom used to, because I'm the oldest at home, used to want to have this conversation about death with me. And she'd be like, when I die, this is where you will get what? You need to go claim for the funeral insurance, blah, blah, blah. This is where you need to call, da. At my funeral, guys, this conversation used to annoy and scare me so much that I'd be like, no, it's fine. But now that I'm older, I understand why she was doing that, so that, you know, things are planned for, you know, and very important when you're in a relationship, very important when you are married and when you have kids, you know, with someone. Talk about death, normalize talk. I'm not saying every day talk about, hey, but talk about where to from here, you know. The kids, do we have enough saved for them? You know, do we have enough money saved for them? Do we have enough life covers? Do we have enough funeral covers? And such things, so that it doesn't become a burden to the next person. And now blah blah blah. You get what I'm saying? So death conversations are not easy, but they're one of the most important conversations to have with your partner.
They're very important because sometimes you have assets and you have families. And some families want to go and attach themselves to those assets that they know belonged to the deceased, you know, who is their child or whatever, you know. And so how do you, I think you need to speak about them so that when those things, those issues arise, then the one who is left knows how to navigate around them.
True.
And also is prepared, perhaps also legally, to navigate and to deal with those things.
True.
And knowing that indeed how they will, you know, deal with them represents your views or your wishes, you know, because you guys had the conversation. So people, after one of the partners die, so many things that they never spoke about and the families didn't even know about. Because sometimes you can even extend the conversation, certain things, to the family so that they know there are some new expectations or certain expectations that I could have never agreed to.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think that's one of the reasons why you need to
speak about death. And also, guys, so that limit to how if only certain savings in a certain card, I'll fill the password and everything, you know, before they die.
Oh,
So yeah, guys, I think those are, in summary, some of the topics that people don't want to talk about, but it's very important to normalize talking about them.
It's very important.
Yeah. If you did enjoy this episode, give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below. Let us know what you think, things that you are scared to talk to your partner about as well. And let us have a continuation of this conversation in the comments down below.
Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Did you say that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Follow us. We'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers.